Hello and welcome to our second day of e-learning. Today is Wednesday, March 25th. Today is also known as Manatee Appreciation Day. Our goal for today is to write an argumentative essay about whether e-learning or classroom learning is better. So here's the difference between the two. Right now, we are doing e-learning because all of our learning is online. We were doing classroom learning, which means all of our learning takes place in the classroom at school. So we're going to decide today which one is better, e-learning or classroom learning, and we're going to argue our point in a short essay. Here's how we're going to accomplish that. First, we need to do some research on e-learning versus classroom learning, and then finally, we will write our argumentative essay defending either e-learning or classroom learning. All you need for today is your Chromebook. Let's go ahead and move on to the next slide. It says today's work. Everything you complete today will be on a hyperdoc. A hyperdoc is a Google Doc that has links to videos, articles, and activities. You will make a copy of the hyperdoc, you'll type your answers on the hyperdoc, and finally, you will share your hyperdoc with me. Click here to make a copy of the hyperdoc and start working. So I'll click here. I'll click Make a Copy. All right, now over here in the left corner of my screen, I'm going to rename my document by putting my first and last name. You will also put in your first and last name so that when you share it with me, I know exactly what the document is and whose document it is. Now I'm going to take a look over here. So the title of this document, this hyperdoc, is the e-learning debate. We're going to start off in the Engage box. Now that we have one full day of e-learning done and many more days to go, I want to know your opinion on whether e-learning or classroom learning is better. Let's take a look at our project overview. We will debate on the issue, is e-learning or classroom learning better for students? You will, number one, research and take notes on both sides of the issue of whether online learning or classroom learning is better for students. And number two, prepare a 3-paragraph argumentative essay. Let's go ahead and look at exploring both sides of the issue. Directions. Below are some resources on this topic to get you started with your research. You need to click on the blue link to view the resource. Take notes for each source in the white space provided. So here's our first source right here that we're going to click on. Before we click on it to read it, I want to look over here. So these are the questions we're going to need to answer based on this article. Does this source support e-learning or classroom learning? And number two, what are 3 reasons the article provided? So if I visit this link, I need to read through it and figure out what does it support, e-learning or classroom learning, and what are 3 reasons it provides for why it believes that. So I can either read this to myself, or on your screen, you should have the Read Write Google puzzle piece up on the right side of your screen in the corner. If you click on that, there's a feature that will read all of this out loud to you. So you can do that if you want. So after I'm done reading, I will go back to my document. I will type in my answer for number 1 and my answer for number 2. And then I'll move on to my second resource, which is this one. So I will click on it. I will read through it and decide, is this supporting e-learning or classroom learning? And what are 3 reasons it gives? And then I'll go back to my document and I will type in my answer for number 1 and my answer for number 2. After my research is all done, I'm going to move on to the box that says Apply. So it says in this box, once your research of both sides is complete, answer the question, is e-learning or classroom learning better for students? Use your sources and your notes to write a short 3-paragraph essay that states a claim, provides reasons, and provides supporting evidence from your sources. Click here to read the directions and find helpful tips for writing your essay. You're also going to type your essay right here in this box. It does get bigger if you need more space. So before I start typing, I need to follow directions and click here to read the helpful tips that I need to know. All right, so this is the argumentative essay requirements for e-learning versus classroom learning. Here it says your assignment is to write a short essay answering the question, is e-learning or classroom learning better for students? Make sure to back up your argument with evidence from your research. Read through and include the helpful tips below. Paragraph 1. In this paragraph of your essay, you should include background information that makes the topic seem important, a clear description of the sides of the issue so that the reader understands that there are two sides to this argument, not just one. So you need to mention both e-learning and classroom learning, that there's two options for learning. Third, you need to have a very big, clear, explicit, bold claim. Your claim is e-learning is better for students or classroom learning is better for students. You pick one. And lastly, in paragraph 1, you need to have something about you and why you care about this topic, or what kind of research you have done to become a trusted authority. What gives you the right to be an expert on this topic? Next is paragraph 2. In this paragraph, you need to have at least 2 reasons why you believe e-learning or classroom learning is better for students, with supporting evidence from the articles and videos you read or watched. Okay? Paragraph 3 is your closing argument. You're going to restate your claim and the reasons you wrote about, and lastly, emphasize why your claim is the best and why your evidence is the best. Why should I be finally convinced by your essay? After writing your essay, read your essay out loud maybe to check for any spelling and grammar mistakes. You can also use the read-write puzzle piece in the top left corner of your screen to check for mistakes. Okay, so these are all my instructions. I'm going to go back to my HyperDoc and I'm going to start typing right here in this box. After you've typed your essay in this box, you can move on to the last box, which is share. Basically, you just need to make sure you share your Google Doc with me so I can see the answers. And then lastly, share with the class your personal opinion. Let us know if you think e-learning or classroom learning is better. You can post your opinions on this Padlet right here. It's loading. Okay, by clicking on this little plus sign down here in the corner, it already has your name up there, but you can give it a title. So like I could say e-learning is the best. You may not agree with me on that. And then down here, I would write why I think e-learning is the best, and I would give a reason. And if you want to, you can comment on other people's posts too. It's up to you. Okay. All right, so I have gone through exactly how to do this entire assignment. If you have any questions for me, please send me a message. Of course, please don't forget to click share up here in the corner when you're all done with the HyperDoc. Type in my first and last name and click send so that I can see your assignment and mark you as completing your e-learning work for today. All right, let me know if you have any questions. I'm excited to read your opinions.